Hey, it's good to be back at the SBP Podcast, the voice of mobile film. This is episode 26, and we're doing a roundtable podcast from the film festival in San Diego. Ready? Hey, welcome to the International Mobile Film Festival in San Diego. This is the SBP Podcast, the voice of mobile film, and I'm your host, Susie Botello. And guess, obviously I already gave that away. I'm over here at the International Mobile Film Festival. We just finished the award ceremony, and we did the red carpet. We showed all the films, and I'm not alone. Guess who I'm here with? I am here with all the filmmakers who were in our film festival, a few sponsors as well, and our brand ambassador, Erin Nabus. So I'd like to start off with naming the people that are sitting around this roundtable podcast, and that starts with, obviously I already said Erin Nabus, but also Neil and Jana Halford from Swords and Circuitry Studios, sponsors, and also audio and video technicians for our film festival. They were also judges in this year's film festival, MFF 2018. I'm sitting here with one of the winners of the International Mobile Film Festival. This is the first time I'm actually announcing this. Narelle Nash. Narelle, say hello.
Hello.
Narelle's never been in a podcast, so and this was the first film she ever made.
And the first award.
And the first award.
Bunch of firsts for me.
Yeah, so I'm actually loving this big time. We're also here with Seth Dacio from San Diego. Did I mention that Narelle is from Sydney in Australia? Okay, good. Might as well do that too. Seth Dacio is from San Diego. He just turned 18 this month. So he's legally here. No, I'm just kidding. He shot a film, a travel film, and he took part in this film festival. And this was your first film festival as well?
My second.
Your second film? Oh, so he's a pro too. Right on. Sitting right next to me is Chuck Cropland.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, he shot a film, and he came all the way from Toronto as well, so thank you. On my other side here is Gandhi.
Hi, everyone.
Gandhi, you may know him because, well, his first name is Prakash, and his last name is Natarajan. Did I do it good?
That's good, yeah.
Awesome. Hey, I'm getting better at this. Gandhi actually was a guest on our podcast, but he's from Texas. And so this is the first time we've done a podcast, here in person, in San Diego too. And he also shot a travel film, Italy, and was a part of our film festival. And thanks for coming again.
Thank you.
Brian Hennings from Perth in Australia actually took first prize.
Yay.
Yay. Film called Focus.
Focus, that's right.
Yeah. And you may remember he's been in 2 of our podcasts. Brian's very inspiring, but apparently our judges, the other judge that's not here is Penny Stiles, and she's in Nashville, actually. But, you obviously blew them away with your film. What can I say? You and Narelle.
Yeah, all I can say is that it must have been a really hard task for them to select my film because the competition was so good. I think it's more luck of the draw than anything else. The other films are equally as good as far as I'm concerned. I just happen to be the person that got lucky this time around.
Should we say that you brought somebody with you to share the experience with?
No.
Okay.
My wife Sharon is sitting in the background, but yeah, she'll just quietly listen in.
Well, yeah, but I just wanted to say, that you do get to share the experience of-
once we're done with this podcast, we're out partying.
Yeah.
Let's drink. That's very Australian too.
I don't blame you. It's actually very San Diegan too, to find an excuse to party. But it's been a long weekend for us on our end. Sitting next to Brian is J.R. Thrasher, one of our sponsors, his wife Pia Thrasher, who is not here, unfortunately, but he is one of our sponsors from San Diego Real Estate Veterans, right?
That's correct.
And so I want to welcome all of you for staying around after this, especially for our winners and filmmakers. You're tired, and I know you want to get back home and everything, but I really appreciate you all, willing to be here. What I want to ask you guys, and just kind of jump in, if you want to jump in, just jump, okay? What was your experience like at the film festival?
I'll
Yeah,
jump
I'm like,
in
don't
first.
all jump in at once. But
Everyone just kind of looked at each other and going, no, okay. As I said after I came last year, and I think I've said on the podcast before, this is a great film festival. It seems to me to be built for the filmmakers. Susie, you do a great job organising this. You're very welcoming for people that have travelled varying distances to get here. I highly recommend the festival as an opportunity for smartphone filmmakers to get their work out there and get recognised. So, thanks to you. And the other thing that's great is that we make these connections with the other filmmakers who are here.
yeah. What about you?
This is my second time here, and I'm really excited. I think this is one of the two film festival for smartphone which has live screening. And I don't know about the SF3 about red carpet, but Susie always gives us a nice red carpet, and we get to dress up and stuff. And I get to meet amazing filmmakers every time. And this year, I saw some amazing films. Now I'm going to work on a film which is going to beat you all next year. That's my goal.
Challenge accepted.
And I already spoke to Susie a year back. I don't know whether she remember about maybe start opening up a festival in Austin, Texas.
I do remember.
Yes, that's one part we are still discussing. And also I brought up to Susie that I would like to be a sponsor at some point in the near future to one of the festival.
Yeah, and we'll definitely collaborate too. And yeah, I always welcome an awesome sponsor, are you kidding me? But just so you know, sponsors don't get to compete.
Oh, man.
But they do get to feature their films.
Okay. 1 year I can do that. I can let other people win.
Yeah. He's not shy. What about you, Chuck? Your experience in the film festival, because, we just talked to two people who were here last year, but you've never been here before. You don't know me from Jack.
It was great.
Yeah.
Very welcoming and very communicative. Tried to get into other festivals, and they don't even respond to my emails. So you always responded right away, which was very appreciative. And just felt like a VIP the whole time. Weird
you are
feeling.
a VIP. That's the thing. I noticed at some of the film festivals that I went to myself. I'll never forget my experience. I don't share this very much because I'm kind of shy in that way. But I was a DP for a film, and everybody drove up in a Rolls Royce. And they got this long, our red carpet was like Barbie doll red carpet compared to this red carpet. It was long, and I got to walk this red carpet, and somebody grabbed me from here so hard, and it was like a television station to interview me. And I was already I'm just a DP. It was just a little film. And I was doing what Narelle was saying, during the Q&A about the, I just shot it on a phone. It's just a thing. It's blah, blah, blah. Well, I kind of did that to myself. It wasn't a phone. It was a traditional film camera, but I really felt like this wasn't a big deal until I got to the very end of the red carpet. And there was a lady there who had brought her whole family, and she knew me. And her whole expression and how excited she was that she knew somebody walking on that red carpet. And that was what it was like, wow. It was a big experience for her more than it was for me. And I thought, people think the red carpet is really awesome. You know what? I want to make sure that's how filmmakers get that kind of respect. That's what it's really about for them. It's not just about showing their film on the big screen. It's the gratitude of the red carpet, Was this the first red carpet we've walked on and the experience on that?
First one that I got my photo taken on. I volunteer at the Toronto Film Festival.
Oh, awesome.
So I think it was my second or third shift. I had to follow around some of the celebrities with a broom and clean the red carpet afterwards.
Wow. Because they were that messy. Did they have like muddy feet or something? Or
yeah, so there was a lot. It was fall, so there were a lot of leaves and stuff that were blowing onto the carpet. So they had me every time a group went by. It's okay, go in there and sweep up all the leaves.
You poor guy. We're gonna have to are any of them connected to you on Facebook? Once you put the ones on the red carpet where your photo's taken, you're the VIP. That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I was just the broom guy on the last red carpet.
Well, one thing they let me do afterwards was I got my photo taken on the TIFF red carpet, which was really neat. But I'm there with my volunteer shirt on.
That's awesome. What about you, Seth?
I thought the festival was great. It was my first time in the red carpet, so it was a cool experience to be able to take a picture of the red carpet. And I got to meet other filmmakers that are amazing, and also I got to see their amazing films as well.
Wow, that's cool. Also having the cosplayers, the Star Wars Steampunk Universe, you got Dude Vader to escort you on the red carpet. How was that?
That was cool.
Yeah. Narelle, share.
Look, from the moment I got here, really, I was made to feel special and valued, and that's continued throughout. So, it's definitely a film festival that cherishes like smartphone filmmakers. So that's sort of the biggest thing I take away from this, is to feel valued and appreciated and part of a community now, which I, to be honest, really didn't feel before, this being my first film, and I wasn't sort of really aware of the movement or anything. So to feel part of that, something bigger, is pretty cool.
And it's totally global.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the part that really amazes people. San Diego's a big city. We're known for a lot of stuff. We got dinosaurs coming in through the ocean there on the harbor, Jurassic Park. But still, everybody, once you get that connection from somebody from across the ocean, from another country, and to be able to connect in a physical space, it's pretty awesome, huh? I mean, I love it. And watching you today, like when I handed you the award, I wanted, because I knew this was your first film, so I didn't even have the trophies out or anything. I was like, I'm never going to get there. I'm just going to keep calling names, but I'm never going to get there. And then I casually, and Narelle, come up here. And then I just...
That was cheeky. I thought I was just getting my certificate of appreciation like everyone else. And then she goes, oh, by the way, you won third place. I was like, what? That was unexpected on many levels.
Well, and you know what? I'm so glad to give you your first win at a film festival.
First of any kind of award, and I've applied to many. So to be here, to be in America, and all of it just sort of aligned is very, very special. So I'm very grateful.
You're going to be in that airplane on the way back, and you're going to be smiling the whole way, and people are going to go, why are you so happy? The peanuts is all we're getting for food. Oh,
I'm just going to show my trophy to check in. I expect an upgrade. Business, please, all the way.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's really neat for you to be here, though, to get that perspective. And to be able to, this podcast does get around to a few, countries, like, I think it was like 36. Last time I counted, 36 countries. And a lot of people wonder, what would it be like to submit? Should I even bother, going through all the rules and doing this? And should I even bother? I mean, I shot this little movie, but should I even bother submitting it to a film festival? What would you say to them?
Oh, look, if I had thought that way, I would have missed out on so much. I certainly had no idea that my film was going to go this far or look anywhere. But I sort of went with the premise of what if? And I guess I would just encourage people to do that, because really, if I can do it, you can. I've said it a few times before, but for the purpose of this podcast, I'd never filmed anything before, no training, no skills. We shot it in one day in one location and entirely on an iPhone 7. And here I am now picking up bronze at the International Mobile Film Festival. So, yeah, please just do it. Pick up your phone and film. Honestly, you've no idea how far it might go.
Do you like your trophy? I mean, it's heavy.
I love my trophy. It has my name on it.
It's going to add some weight to your luggage.
You're not so much as that big box. That's going to add a bit of size. I'm really going to have to get creative as to how I'm going to pack that. But
I have an extra baggage.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Thank you. Yeah, I'll work it out.
That's awesome. JR, you've been a sponsor on our film festival for a couple years. You do real estate and everything.
Yeah, it's our third year. It's our third year now.
What keeps you coming back? Just wondering.
When you don't have a lot of talent, it's just fun to hang out with all the folks that do. It's just, you and I have talked about this at length, many, many, many times, and the technology that we have in the palm of our hands. At my age, I'm sitting here looking at this thing. I feel as if I'm the last person that calls this thing a phone and use it as a phone. Mm-hmm. I text, I have learned how to take photographs with it. I'm even stepping into the foray of video. But it's nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing at the level of what all these guys sitting around this table with us this evening, are doing out here. It's impressive. It's incredible. It's just someone like me that looks at this just goes, wow. So I like hanging around with everybody. I like learning. I like watching. They make me up my game. I always learn tips and tricks, for the little videos that I do. And, just being selfish part of it, being in real estate, we shoot a lot of videos and so forth. And what you guys give me is far more than what I give you, because it just helps me. And as long as it's helping me, I'm going to continue to sponsor this thing as long as I possibly can. So I
want to share with people something. I don't know, Neil. I know Neil and Jana know JR and Pia because they're all in. Pia, your wife is in the film business.
That's right.
But we met because I did a filmmaking boot camp, mobile filmmaking boot camp.
That's
here.
Right. I almost forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's right.
I won't, because I just think that's hilarious. How you meet people, how you connect with people. So I did this 2-weekend boot camp, and he was one of the students. Of course, you could tell just by how he's lighting up the place right now as he's talking. He was a lot of fun during that. But we talked for a couple hours at the end on the last night, and he was just like, I do real estate, and I want to do this. And, now I know. Now I never even knew how you would stabilize a phone and,
Exactly. And I still use my handheld stabilizer like you taught me. I mean, it's come in handy. Matter of fact, it's in my truck right now. But what you guys need to do for us realtors out here all across this planet, go get one. Teach them something, please. Help them up their game and be better at just learning how to use this incredible tool we all have. I mean, I just bought the Note 8. I'll never go with any iPhone product or anything. I'm just old school, Windows. Hey, that's what it is, right? But grab them and teach them how to use this thing, just to take a video, how to put something in the lens. They need it. They need it badly.
So should we do the battle of the phones, Narelle?
I'm about to knock my fellow Aussie and out.
But which phone won?
Nicely done, sir.
Touche.
Nicely done.
Just
But
for the
let me-
viewers out here, or rather the listeners. So Brian shot his on a Samsung, and he got first prize, and I shot mine on an iPhone 7, and then I got third.
But wait, let me step in there because I'm an Apple too, and I will say that you had more experience. You know, this is your second film. This is Narelle's first, so that just kind of limits.
Yeah.
What did you
out,
win on your
levels out.
first?
The respect and admiration of the
Did you get a trophy for that?
No, like in all seriousness, like we've been having digs at each other all weekend about the iPhone versus Android thing. But you know, the reality of it is, it comes down to using what you have.
Yeah.
You know, if you happen to be stuck with an iPhone, then by all means,
this guy. He's cool.
by all means, go out and make a film with that. If you're lucky enough to have a Samsung and Samsung Australia, I hope you're listening. You know, please, you know, make a film. No, in all seriousness, it is. You know, use the tools that you have. It's about the storytelling aspect of it. It's about making the best film you can with what you have. And if that happens to be, as Jason was saying earlier, if it happens to be a first generation Nokia that only does VGA stuff,
And we still accept those. I mean, I'll accept a film that's shot on a phone. Period.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it could be a cordless phone, but last I checked, they don't have cameras on them, you know. But as long as it's a phone,
I think I need to give Seth the right to reply here.
Yes.
So besides the storytelling of using mobile filmmaking, the technical side, they both have good pros and cons. Like the Samsung, you could take out your micro SD card, have multiple micro SD cards, but the iPhone can't. But some stuff like Filmic Pro and other apps from iPhone, there's more apps that support iPhone.
Absolutely.
That
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt there, but you're totally correct. You know, like there's some app support that's there. The add-on models, you know, like people tend to build things like the lenses and things like that more for the Apple architecture. But that said, even with all that.
Thank you for that balanced view.
A lot of suckers bought into the iPhone. Yeah.
So I used to have this fight between iPhone and Android at work. I almost got kicked out. That's the reason I
did you almost get fired over that?
almost got fired because I go around people and make fun of them if they don't have an iPhone. That's the reason I'm being quiet here. But if you want to get on the war, I am in. So.
Oh, look.
What did you film on?
I used an iPhone 6,
Hey!
Yeah. Well, no, look.
and I'm full in for Apple.
Here's the thing. Like, the first HD camera, you know, came out on the iPhone, right? The reason why I personally like the iPhone is this. So all the apps, a lot of the apps, when this all started out, right, they were saying, yeah, you can record something on HD, full quality, on an iOS device, and it's a free app. There's no strings like, oh, but, you know, like what a lot of Android apps do. Yeah, it's free, but if you want high quality, and I'm thinking like a film festival right now too. So wait, so somebody can shoot something and 720 resolution on the Android phone, but they can't get full HD or 4K quality unless they pay, you know, for extra for that app and put it in my film festival on the big screen. That's the kind of stuff I'm working with. The other thing is it connects, I gotta say this, it connects with the Mac, right? And on the Mac, it comes with free iMovie, so if you want to edit it there, and then the app version for the phone on the iOS is free iMovie, which is the next best thing to, you know, Final Cut Pro or something like that.
Sure.
So.
In the later generation Android phones, you can shoot ultra high definition without any add-ons. Certainly, even in my phone, you can do that. It does have a little.
But in editing. HD?
Editing, like I'm always going to bump it off onto a PC and edit it on that rather than...
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. For editing, the apps and the software are not free on Android, are they? in full HD, or are they? Am I wrong?
I wouldn't know. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean for editing what you've shot.
Yeah.
No. Actually, let me say something though about Androids, because I look at I watch a lot of mobile films, and when it comes to video on the Androids, they do have, and aesthetically, they really do look sharp. Sometimes sharper than what I've seen on iPhones, on the best iPhones. So I will say that. But what I'm talking about is additionally from recording, right? Mm-hmm. The apps that you get for editing, say, that's what I'm talking about. Because I haven't found any apps for Androids that will take the footage that you shot in HD or 4K and say you can edit in that format and export it in that format completely free.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I like I said, I wouldn't be able to tell you because I don't edit on.
Well, if you do, I
want to
know because I'm teaching mobile filmmaking and stuff like that, and I just haven't found anything. Have you?
No, I haven't. But also another thing, the advantage of iPhone is the app developers, when they create the app, they do it for the iPhone first.
Yep.
And then they move on to Android.
Absolutely.
For example, the Filmic Pro was an iPhone for almost 4 years before they brought an Android version.
Yeah.
So that's another reason I think people prefer iPhone. But I have seen some footage from Google Pixel. It's out of the world.
It's excellent.
It's amazing. So
I think it tends to come down to
the storytelling for sure.
Yeah, and what, like I said, what phone you have access to. So if you have an Android phone, you're going to use that. You're built into that architecture, so you're going to use that to make your films. If you have an iPhone, that's what you're going to use. If you've got an old Nokia, that's what you're going to use.
I mean, so when I first started this film festival, there was the whole question about so is it only for phones or iPods too? And then whoever raised that question, I can't remember who it was, and I went crazy with that. Like, wait, maybe I should make it for, because it's mobile, right? So maybe I should make it for iPods and GoPros and blah, blah. And then I went, too much. What everybody has is a phone, right? If you leave the house and you forget your laptop or something like that on there at home, you're like, whatever, I got the phone. But if you forget the phone at home and you got your laptop or whatever, you're like, nah, I got to go back home and get my phone. And that's the rationale. I said, you know what? It's got to be a phone. And then it was down to should I accept only these phones or those? No, I wanted this to happen with the manufacturers, what we just had here. I wanted the manufacturers to sort of go, well, no, our phone is better because of this. Well, no, our phone is better. And by doing that, they would come to this realization that both of them are good and they just need to get better to compete with each other. And guess who wins in that battle? We all do. Because then we all get to put in my film festival, right, would accept any phone regardless. Yeah. And both have a chance to win. So an iPhone won, an Android won.
Yeah. And I think that's a really good point, is that as smartphone filmmaking it becomes more and more popular, and as Hollywood names start getting involved in this, that someone's going to make a film with an iPhone and Samsung's going to go, we need to absolutely crack that and make sure that our next generation camera is going to be better. And they're going to do that. And then iPhone's going to go, well, we need to beat that. And exactly what you're saying, push it forward so that people like us around the table have access to the best quality filmmaking equipment that they can possibly fit in this little square.
Yeah. And publicity-wise, I really think it's weird. There are really good... I've seen some music videos on Vivo that were shot on Android phones, and I was blown away by them, by the quality of that. And I was like, why aren't they getting publicity in the same regard that the iPhones get, right? But I don't know what the deal is with that. I really don't, so I can't speak to that. Yes, Gandhi.
No, I had a question. You brought an interesting topic about iPod Touch. So iPod Touch kind of behaves like a cell phone when you take it out when you're connected in Wi-Fi. I have an iPod Touch, and then I shoot a lot with my iPod Touch because I do weddings and small business videos and recitals. So what happened, I need 2 or 3 cameras. Mm-hmm. So I use my iPhone 10 and iPhone 7 as 2 cameras, and I use my iPad Pro also as a video recording
If you
device.
ever need to dump any of these things, you know where I am, right?
The question is, would your festival be accepting iPod Touch and
No.
iPad videos?
No.
Okay.
Because to me, again, it's about the phone. So if and this is what people say is like, how did you know what brand is a phone? And I'm like, because if you look at the manufacturer who built it, and you look at their manual and their specs, they're telling you it's a phone. Otherwise, they're telling you it's a tablet or it's a MP3 player or something.
But you can make calls from your.
But it's the manufacturer who makes that decision. If they say it's a phone, a smartphone or a mobile phone or a cell phone, if they add that word phone, then it's a phone. It's not up to me or the device, the things. Yeah, you can make an iPad make a phone call using an app too. You know what I'm saying? But it's the manufacturer who makes that decision. So that's how I have to narrow it down. Otherwise, I'll be sitting there having arguments about the features used on a phone. And the same thing with, whether somebody shot it. I think this came up yesterday too during the Q&A. About whether somebody actually shot their video, with a film. And I was telling them, if you look at the original footage, and open it up in the video editor, just like a photograph, it'll tell you what it was shot on. So you can find out, and you can ask somebody for proof. On the flip side of that, too, when you sign the registration, which you all know is kind of like a contract, you're stating that, you shot this with this particular device. And if, I'm promoting you and, you guys won, let me say that all of a sudden it comes to light that one of you lied about what you shot this with. Well, now I have to unpromote you publicly, right? That's embarrassing for you. And this goes around the world. It's like, oh, yeah, Brian or Gandhi or Narelle, they lied.
It might come out that I actually shot mine on an iPhone.
Right? No.
Disgraceful.
Well, you wouldn't be disqualified for that. That's all I can say. So before we take that too far, what are some of the highlights that you all liked the most on the film festival? Don't all jump in at once, seriously. I'm just... Seth?
Go, Seth.
No. Oh, you're on the spot. Seth.
All right. My first highlight would be the red carpet. Restating that again because my first red carpet experience, being able to take a photo with my dad and also being able to take a photo of myself at the red carpet, and that's like my main highlight at International Mobile Film Festival.
That's awesome. I'll keep it. I'll keep the red carpet thing going then.
So for me, I don't know whether we had this feature film presentation in 2015 when I was there last time. But I really like to see to start the festival with a feature film. And that gave me a lot of ideas for future scripts. So I really enjoyed that movie. I see a lot of hard work went into that film. I hope that may go around the film circuits, feature film.
I'm glad to know that, actually, because I really struggled with, like, should I make that at the beginning or should I leave it for somewhere in the middle or somewhere in the end? But that's good to know because that helps me figure that out. Last year when we had the feature film thing, we presented it last, and so, maybe you're right. Maybe at the beginning is a great place or a great time to feature that. Feature's a feature. How about you, Narelle?
My highlight would definitely be the screening, hearing the audience respond to my film. I think that's sort of the biggest thing. You get very few opportunities to get a live audience for your film. Even, I would say, half the film festivals that I've entered into and become officially selected for are online, or you needed to win award to even progress to an actual screening. So to be able to sit there and obviously, I made a comedy and hear people laugh and go, okay, it's falling where it's supposed to. That for me is why I'm doing it. And I think more than anything,
The reaction, huh? Aw. Well, Neil, you haven't said anything yet, but I really want to get your perspective on, this is the first year you've sponsored.
Yes.
I know that you want to sponsor more, and I'm hoping that you still do after this experience. But you approached me, how do you need another sponsor, and I want to get your perspective of why, because,
Well, I don't know. Well, Jana and I, both for Swords and Circuitry, I mean, we've been filmmakers for several years now, and I think for us, we really like seeing new filmmakers come out, and kind of speaking to what Narelle just said is there really nothing beats whenever you get your film done and taking it someplace and seeing it on a big screen in a crowd with other people, because unless you're a psychopath, you make films for other people to see, and I might have it online for other people to go, other people watch it online and you get likes or whatever, and that's cool, but still it doesn't beat that experience of being there in a crowd with other people. And so we've been extraordinarily fortunate in terms of the reception that our films have had, and we just want to kind of pass that along and have other people have that same experience. And so, and it's not just we also sponsor some of the other film festivals here in town. And so it's not just a general film thing, it's also a San Diego film thing. We have an incredible film community here that we just love and adore. And so whenever you're talking about JR and Pia actually appeared in our first attempt at a feature film. Right. And of course we got to know her even before that during at San Diego Filmmakers. And so we've been friends with Pia for a very long time. So it feels kind of fun, the fact that we're actually sponsoring film festivals together. So it's kind of beyond just being filmmakers, but we're also co-sponsoring. And also I have to say is that we also feel kind of happy that one of the co-stars of one of their upcoming shorts we actually brought to them from Witch Creek, from Jen.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and so
this short-term memory is killing me.
We love passing that stuff around. So let Jana kind of chime in on that as well. So,
well, as Neil mentioned, we've really enjoyed being part of the San Diego film community, and we've made wonderful friends that way. So, getting a glimpse of the international film community up close at a not too huge festival has been wonderful, and so. Something that has meant a lot to me is, over the years, filmmaking in general has become more and more possible for more and more people. It made it possible for us to become filmmakers, several years back, but because so many people have mobile phones, making filmmaking accessible to people and celebrating that, I think, is a wonderful thing. So that's a big reason why I'm happy to support all this. And, sometimes with projects, I've done a lot of event work in my life. You get focused on the details. Something that Neil and I worked on was gathering the equipment that we needed to help support this festival, getting a screen, getting sound equipment, et cetera, and then as well as using some things that we already had. And then this weekend, seeing what all that is really for, seeing people see their film on a larger screen. Not just on a computer or a phone, but seeing it, or television, but seeing it on a good-sized screen, having decent sound and everything for that was very gratifying. And also, much like our local film community, so many wonderful people came to this that we've gotten to talk to and get a glimpse of what they do, and hearing them talk about the evolution of their work. People that are new filmmakers are relatively new, and people that have been doing it for a while. Neil and I just look at each other and nod, because a lot of the lessons that you learn about, oh yeah, I need to think more about lighting, and that sort of thing that are very much part of the process. So it's been a really great experience, and we do intend to keep sponsoring as long as we possibly can, because this is a very positive thing, and I think we're both storytellers, Neil and I, and seeing people tell their stories or bring somebody else's story to life, somebody that they maybe have a connection with, is a wonderful thing. And I'm also enjoy the humor. It's hard to make a film like Narelle managed to successfully make a comedy short, and it's hard to be funny. I've joked when we've been making serious films that I sometimes think the easiest way to make a comedy film is to try to make a serious one and then just film everybody trying to do that, because it's... Yes. Creative people make the funniest jokes on set. But anyway, it's been I can't say enough good things about the experience and about the people we've met, and thank you for letting us be part of it.
Wow.
So for me, it's kind of funny to listen to you guys talk about technology, and which phone is better than this, this phone or that phone or what have you. I started with 8mm film making when I was a kid. There was a great magazine called Cinemagic. When I picked it up, I thought it was a movie about making films in Hollywood, and it was for backyard filmmakers and how you could create special effects on your own using baling wire and how to build your own optical printer, all this crazy stuff. And so it's funny to kind of be having that conversation about, I have to have this really high-tech piece of equipment. It says people were making great films with Super 8 for years and years and years, and you were talking earlier about Spielberg, and Spielberg and Lucas both started out as filmmakers with Super 8 cameras. And so I think that, as you said yesterday, it's all about the tool, and they say, how can I best use this tool? It's not necessarily, this is the only device I should use to make all films. It's what can I do with this, and how can I maximize what I do with this? And so also, having worked in the computer gaming world, I have the whole PC Mac battle thing going on for a long time too. So that's a whole other thing. But anyway, it's kind of funny just to kind of see this same kind of debate going around with mobile phones. And it all boils down to, you've got this device, what does it do really well, and how can I take advantage of that?
Perfect. I mean, perfect that, you were just talking about the 8mm films, right? And that's funny because remember The Doors, Jim Morrison in that movie? I didn't know his history, but I saw that movie with Val Kilmer. And when he first goes to LA, he wants to be a filmmaker. And he's in that class. And he makes this experimental film, and he gets laughed at, and that's what brings him into the music world, right? Because he was a poet, a storyteller. And so I kind of, that stuck with me. And one of the things that I thought about when I started my film festival, when I got started meeting the mobile filmmakers that were experimenting, have you ever met Max Schlesser? Well, he's Mina. They started out in New Zealand, and they're over in Australia now. I don't know if you met him or heard of him, but he made films started in 2004 with cell phones, like real pixelated experimental stuff. And there are a lot of filmmakers that have been doing that originally before the smartphone, doing little things like that, and then adding music and sound effects to it and making these really, I don't know if you've ever seen any of those. Maybe you can Google them, but they're very, and I thought about that, and I'm all, ooh, this is going to create like its own unique genre. And I've had some of the films in our film festival that were like, what is this? I don't even know what to classify this under, which is one of the reasons why I kind of don't want to have categories officially. And but I have all these categories, but they're more like suggestions. Like if you put them in this category, you have a guide to go to focus on. But at the same time, I don't want you to have a guide. I want you to just do whatever, And then hey, if it works, I'll put it in my film festival. You know what I mean? But I want to go. I didn't mean to skip over you, Chuck. What was the highlight for you in the film festival?
Narelle stole mine. It was getting...
Oh, she stole it.
It was getting the live feedback from people, especially a larger group of strangers, because I really only showed it to friends and family. So it was great getting honest feedback from people. And then if I'm going to give something original, also during the Q&A, kind of asking people what inspired them to tell that story over others.
Yeah, I think I asked that same question. I try to ask different questions every year during the Q&A, but I always end up asking that one to every single Q&A because I think it's interesting what brought you into this. Because we're all human beings, we're all storytellers, and we all obviously kind of like hearing stories. We were born that way. We're just wired that way, right, Narelle? Confirming it with you. And so I always want to know, like, what got you started into this, you know? Because I have my own story of what got me into this, too. I'm not going to share that now. But I have my own story on that. But I'm always very interested in, like, you know, because for me, this was an idea that came out of nowhere, basically. So it's like, well, what brought you into this world, you know, that I'd love to share with you, you know? So that's pretty awesome.
And a great poster on the work week, the one you posted on. Yeah, that was really
Thank you.
good. Yeah.
That is a really cool image.
Yeah, I too have a poster. Maybe a suggestion for you. Maybe you can ask the participating filmmakers to send their poster. Yeah. And you can post all the films which are being screened.
Maybe we should do a category about film posters. You know.
That would be cool.
That'd be great.
I can judge that.
Yeah. I do want to talk to you, though, Aaron, as our ambassador or brand ambassador or whatever, our friend, because you this is your second. I met Aaron at Comic-Con. He was at one of our panels. You know, Pamela and Anthony that were in our film festival this year. Oh my God, I am getting tired. They met. The reason they submitted a film is because they were at the mobile filmmaking panel at Comic-Con, and during the Q&A they just blurted that out and right in front of everybody, and I had no idea, so that caught me off guard. Maybe I just threw it back at you with the "Hey, you won," but it was really interesting because that's how I met Aaron. You know,
well, they were at the same exact panel that I was at.
2016.
Yeah, 2016.
It's amazing. And that was a big one for me. I mean, we had a huge audience in that one. Mm-hmm. I think we filled almost every seat. Not literally I filled it, but it was full. And so there was no way I could remember, you know, everyone that was there. But yeah, so Aaron was in our film festival last year, and it was the first time he had come, and he was just blown away. He loved you know, the connection with people and everything like that. But was there anything different in this film festival that you would say was a highlight for you?
There's way more Australians.
Especially in the winning category.
No, it's really just more of the same, really. The same level of camaraderie and support that I saw last year.
Yes.
It seems even more heightened this year to some degree. Maybe it's just because I'm more aware of it, or we've just been hanging out more often, collaborating. So, like, each time I'm like, you know, we're working on a podcast together or planning for the International Mobile Film Festival, it's like I feel that energy of wanting to create or to support, you know, so that positive energy. And I feel it all throughout the festival. And you guys shared the podcast, I'm sure they can agree that one big aspect of this festival is the positive energy that goes through it, you know. And I think I'll keep on coming as much as I can to help support you.
Cool.
And maybe one day I'll submit a film.
There you go.
Next year.
I'm going to end this podcast now because, not by throwing a book in the middle or anything, but I know it's been a long weekend for everybody, and, you know, everybody's got to get in the airplane or something, or a train or a submarine or something.
Rocket ship.
The yellow submarine. And so I'd like to say that the highlight of this particular film festival that has not happened before is this podcast. Because in every single film festival, once the awards are done and gone, and I've done a little short video, you know, interview or something like that, but I've never really sat down at this roundtable thing and had a conversation with everybody. And then, to be honest with you, for our listeners, to bring this to them, because a lot of the filmmakers that are not able to make it, not everybody can, you know, come down here, and they actually if you're listening right now, you apologized to me for not being able to come, and you don't need to apologize for that. I understand, and what is really awesome is to be able to this year, because we started the podcast in October, late last year, is to be able to have this discussion with all of you, and to feel, for me, during this discussion, I was really, there's this inner voice inside me with the listeners saying, well, what would they want to know? What are they asking about this? If they were here, what are they asking? And so to be able to share this discussion with them, because I can't share the film festival per se, it's not like television where, hey, everybody's sitting around, and still, this is more in depth and this is more for real, even than posting photos and videos on YouTube or on Facebook. So I just want to say to end this, that the highlight for me is this podcast discussion and being able to share this beyond this room. And I want to thank you guys for sitting around and waiting to do this, and for being a part of the film festival, from sponsors to the ambassador, and to every single one of you filmmakers.
A special shout out to Dean, our photographer, as well.
Yes. Dean Curry is sitting over here. He shot photos yesterday with Tim Russ and everything. And then he was here all day, shooting photos as well. So thank you, Dean. Dean!
Thank you.
And thank you all. And for listeners, I hope that you benefited from this podcast and you are inspired to come over and join me next year and some of these filmmakers, and come to San Diego. And, well, first submit a film. But even if you don't submit a film, or even if you submit a film and it didn't get in, get over here. You're going to enjoy networking and sharing this experience anyways. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Safe
Thank
travels.
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you.